If you hold XRP, you need to understand that the entire nature of XRP has completely changed. With regulation, the Clarity Act is taking a market that lived with uncertainty and giving it proper structure. For the first time, digital assets are being defined in law instead of debated in courts. And this changes the entire nature of the crypto markets, but most importantly, has a tremendous impact on XRP itself. Back in the 2000s, the United States passed the Commodity Futures Modernization Act of 2000. This piece of legislation created a clear framework for derivatives, opening the gates for liquidity and pushing derivatives markets from $100 trillion to over $600 trillion.
Let me first just let you in on a little inside information. Nobody had ever heard of credit default swaps when we debated the Commodity Futures Modernization Act. Summers and Greenspan and the two major financial regulators were very alarmed about potential damage to interest rate swaps and currency swaps. But if anybody had ever heard of credit default swaps, they kept it to themselves. If somebody had said to me, do you believe there's swaps where people are betting on or basically selling contracts on whether someone will default, I would have said there probably are. If not, there probably will be, but I didn't know that such a market existed. If it did, it was tiny. But if you're going to look at credit default swaps in any kind of dispassionate way, even though they were never debated in this bill and not an issue in this bill, you got to conclude the market has worked remarkably well.
This expanded the derivatives market to a global system of over $1.2 quadrillion globally. And this pattern is repeating itself. When rules are clear, institutional money has green lights. That's why you see so many XRP ETFs. That's why you see the Grayscales, the BlackRocks. They all talking about tokenization of real-world assets. They all called cryptocurrencies a scam 5 years ago.
Is it true that you're building out a cryptocurrency capability?
No. I mean, we're looking at it, and we're looking at all the
blockchain isn't crypto. Blockchain is just the underlying technology.
Well, that's the most important thing. Whether it is a cryptocurrency, we're studying them to see how they're performing. And it may be, it may be.
Don't your clients want crypto exposure?
No, I don't believe any client has sought out crypto exposure.
Really?
Yes.
But at some point they might. Do you need to be prepared?
I don't, at the moment, no.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Goldman Sachs is building out a cryptocurrency trading desk. Morgan Stanley is doing the same thing.
I'm not in the trading area.
Morgan's doing the same thing.
Yes, because there's elements of people who are looking to trade it. I have not heard from any one client they're looking to buy a cryptocurrency at this time. When it becomes more legitimatized, when it has the true open nature of it, that you identify who the players are on both sides, that's when we'll probably look at it as an alternative to all currencies. But right now, I can tell you it worldwide, I have not heard from one client who said, I need to be in this.
Now those institutions became active participants in the crypto markets. Under this new framework, cryptocurrencies are now split into two different categories. There are digital commodities where value comes directly from using the blockchain itself. Payments, settlements, governance, network incentives, and utility-driven purposes. XRP fits exactly this category. XRP is actually a textbook definition of a digital commodity. And then we have investment contracts tied to companies or fundraising. Those are usually treated as securities during the issuance, but they might not be treated as security on the secondary markets. The Genius Act regulates stablecoins under a separated framework. That distinction matters because it removes uncertainty about how digital assets are treated once they reach maturity. A mature blockchain is defined as a network that is sufficiently decentralized, functional, and not controlled by any single person or entity. Certification of maturity comes from the SEC itself. Once this threshold is met, the native asset is explicitly exempt from being treated as an investment contract. It transitions from regulatory uncertainty into something that financial institutions can finally work with. The SEC now focuses on issuance, fundraising, and frauds. The CTFC takes care of trading, derivatives, and secondary markets. This opens the door to tokenized securities, real-world assets, on-chain securities, regulated DeFi integrations, yield products, and banks offering blockchain-based financial products without double standards. And this is what changes the entire game for XRP. The digital asset is now approved as acceptable collateral on a CTFC-regulated derivatives platform. Collateral is the asset institutionals post when they are securing leverage positions, managing exposure, and operating at scale. Assets used as collateral must have deep liquidity, settlement certainty, and institutional trust. This category includes gold, US Treasuries, and major exchange pairs. XRP has just entered the same collateral buckets, effectively being treated as gold. Once an asset is utilized as a collateral, it doesn't circulate in the same way. That means vast amounts of XRP are set to be locked by institutional custody, securing derivatives positions. That inevitably is set to decrease XRP circulating supply. As supply decreases and demand shifts from retail speculation to institutional necessity, price does not spike randomly. This is one of the catalysts for XRP to decouple from BTC. The price of an asset really comes down to one single denominator: buyers versus sellers. XRP price has to adjust upwards to meet the role XRP is playing on the system. You simply cannot run $1 trillion derivatives market on a low value. It's mathematically impossible. I have to quote David Schwartz on this one: a higher priced XRP is a better vehicle for payments. High volume settlement and collateralization requires price stability. Every time an asset becomes foundational to the derivatives market, its valuation evolves to support that function. This is the moment XRP starts transitioning from open market circulation into institutional custody. That transition carries the conditions for a massive XRP supply shock that's building under the surface. This is exactly why commodity treatment is far more important than ETFs. With ETFs, you have inflows and outflows, you have too many volatility, and that's why very often you see these massive inflows towards XRP, yet price simply doesn't respond. On the other hand, collateral demand is structural and perpetual. Once institutions can legally hold an asset, and that's exactly the case of XRP, they can lend against it, they can use it in swaps and collateralized lending. It becomes part of the foundation of the entire financial system. Commodities are designed to scale. They must support hedging requirements, margin flows, liquidity pools, leverage, and institutional risk models. And this is the major shift happening right now. Crypto is moving from a chaotic market into infrastructure. The Clarity Act provides the rulebook, the CTFC provides the market rails, and XRP has been positioned as a commodity-grade settlement and collateral assets. At this point, the entire nature of XRP has completely changed. This is no longer about speculation. This is about becoming a piece of infrastructure that the entire financial system is set to run upon. This is about setting the rails for XRP to effectively become a world reserve currency. XRP has now entered the same category as gold, and this has changed the entire system. If you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments if you are bullish about XRP's future. And if you want to trade crypto without KYC, I'm gonna drop a link in the description of this video for Bitunix Exchange, the exchange partner of this channel. And if you register within 20 days, Bitunix has made an exclusive campaign only for my subscribers. So you can also receive futures bonuses based on your net deposits, and you can reach milestones and unlock exclusive bonuses trading on Bitunix. You will find the link in the description of this video. Thank you everyone, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'm gonna see you in the next video.